Okay.
Runya, Akfer Ravina Mabruchosa. Runya fenced, Ravina had a field, an inner field. Runya fenced him in on four sides. So, based on the Gemara we learned, Runya demanded that Ravina contribute to the expenses of the four walls. Lo Yahivle. Ravina refused. So then he asked him, Havli Lefi Kinin Bezol. Okay, pay me at least the amount of what we would have built a reed wall. Still Lo Yahivle. He didn't want to pay. Havli Yagar Netirusa. Give me at least the amount that you would require to hire a watchman to watch the field. Lo Yahivle. You didn't want to pay anything. Yomi Gadar Dikli. Runya was chopping down palm trees. Amr Leila Rise. So Ravina said to his sharecropper, Zil shkomine kibur de iheni. Go grab me a bunch of pomegranate, dates. Ozalasu, he went to bring him. Rabbi Bekola, Runya raised his voice. Armeles, Ravina said, Gali daitcha de minich nechale. I see that you're happy. I'm sorry, Ravina was the one on the outside and Runya was on the inside. And Ravina demanded payment. And Runya didn't want to give him payment. So Runya was chopping up, cutting down his dates. So Ravina sent his messenger, go get me some of the dates. Because Amalei Galisa Daitcha the Menech Dechale. Listen, if you're cutting dates, you don't want everyone to come and take those dates. It shows that you're happy that you have Shmira. Lo Yehi Eliezer Ba'almo. If a goat came there, Milo Boyna Tirus, you'd have to have a watchman there to prevent the goat from eating dates. At least pay me that. Yeah, but if a goat shows up, I would just chase him away. I still don't need a fence. Yeah, but you need a person there all the time to chase him away. So you have to pay for that. So the case came, Asla Kamei de Rava. Amr Lay, Rava said to Runya, Zil finds him in my DFS. Go pay him at least the amount for Shmira. V'i low. And if you don't want to pay anything, I'm going to paskin on you severely, like Rav Huna kon Rav Yossi, which is you have to pay the full value of what he spent for the walls. Runya Zavan Ara Mitzvah Ravina. Runya bought a piece of land that was neighboring to Ravina. So Ravina, let's look at Mishum Dina de Bar Metzra. You have right of first refusal on a piece of land next to you. So he wanted to get rid of Runya. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. He's also a neighbor of yours. So you can't get rid of him. He's a bar metzra too. Mishnah. Koisel chatz, you have a wall in between partners, shenafa, that fell. You require both partners to build it together again up until 4 amos. Now, if after they built it, one of the partners claimed he was the only one who put out money for it, and the other guy doesn't want to contribute. So the chazaka is b'cheska shenosan. The burden of proof is on the guy who's claiming that the other guy didn't pay. The presumption is that both partners contribute. Ad shevi raya shaloi nasan. The guy who's claiming he didn't pay has to be proof that he didn't pay. Now, may arba amos l'malan ein mechayv noisoi. Above arba amos, There is no chazaka that they both contributed. You don't force partners to build higher than Arba Amas. But if you see him samachlo, let's say he builds a wall right next to the other wall, and he wants it to be above Arba Amas. Koisel acher, right? And now technically he could put a ceiling between the two walls. And even if he hasn't done that yet, then he has to pay the cost of building the first wall because he shows that he wants to use the other wall. So then the burden of proof is that he didn't pay. Right? You have a lender, who lends money, and he says, I want you to pay me within 30 days. And then the borrower comes to the lender and says, pay me. And the lender says, I paid you. The borrower says, I paid you within the 30 days. Eino nema. He's not believed because most people are not going to pay their loan before it's due. Alavai that borrowers should pay when they're supposed to pay. That's Rish Lakish. Abaye Varava argued, the Amar Tarvayu, sometimes a borrower will pay even before it's time. Why? Zimdin the Misram Zuzi. Some newfound money, he gets an inheritance or whatever. And then he says, Omar, I'm going to get rid of my loans. I'll pay it off even within this time. I don't want at the end of the period of the loan that he's going to come bother me. So let's bring a proof from our Mishnah, Tanakh. If they built a wall and fell, it's b'cheskas shenosan. The other partner, a claim is being made that he didn't contribute. The chazaka is that he did. Until the guy was claiming he didn't pay, achi avirai shaloi nasa. Heichidami. What's the case? Ilema sharmale praticha bizmani. What is the guy claiming? That I paid within the time before, when the wall was finished. Pshita b'chezka shenasa. El ladamrle praticha b'tochsmai. No, while it was being built, I paid it. So alma avadinish the b'tochsmai. So this proves this concept that people will pay prior to the due date. What says no? Shiny achach kol safa v'safa zimne. Every row of bricks they lay, it's like they finished. Toshma. We said that if they built a wall up to Daled Amis, and then he's found to build a higher wall, higher than Arba Amis, it's Becheska Shaloi Nasa. Obviously, it's a sign that he didn't contribute to the first wall. And he has the burden of proof on him to bring the proof. If he's going to say, I paid after it was built, so Amaila, why wouldn't he be believed? That's when people pay. Must be he claimed, I paid before it was built. And that's, we don't believe him, and therefore, we don't believe statements if they claim they paid it before. Or says that's not a proof. Shani Acha, the Omar, Mi Yemer the Mechayveli Rabbanon. Who says that the Chacham will require me to pay for this wall? And maybe he didn't pay at all. So that's why he's not believed. What's the halacha? Rav Papa, Rav Huna, Breder, Rav Yeshua, Avdi, Kabay, V'Ravva. They pass like Kabay, Mar, Baravashi, Avid, Reish Lakish. Ve'il Chasa. Like Reish Lakish, that a person is not believed that he paid within the time. And you can collect even from Afilu Miyasmi, even from a state of Yisoimim. Normally, when you collect from Yisomim, you have to take an oath. This is a very strong chazaka that people will not pay their debts before the due date. And therefore, you're allowed to collect, even without a shvua, from Yisomim if they hadn't been paid. If their claim was they paid within the time. the lender set a date when the borrower has to pay. And Tovul Acharzman, let's say he was supposed to be paid at 30 days, and he came at 40 days to request payment. The Amar Lo, and the borrower says, Praticha b'tochzman, I paid already on day 25. Mao. Mi amrinon b'mokom chazaka. The chazaka is a person who's not going to pay within his time. Do we still say a concept of amrina mali l'shaker? Listen, if he was going to lie already, he could have told a better lie and say, I paid it at the right time. The fact that he's saying I paid it b'tochzman when he could have told a better lie, it's a migu. Do we say that concept of a migu even against the normal chazaka? Or if there's a chazaka that he hadn't paid it because he claimed he paid it within the due date, before the due date, we don't use the svara of a migu, of, well, if he was going to tell a lie, he could tell a better lie. Okay, so the Gemara will go through it, Toshma.
Tomorrow, 8:30?
Yes, tomorrow, 8:30.